Have you ever dreamed of speaking English smoothly, without pauses, without fear, and with the kind of confidence that makes people want to listen? If you're watching this video, the answer is probably yes. You want to improve your English, not just to pass exams, but to actually speak fluently and sound natural in real conversations. And let me tell you, you are not alone in this journey because millions of learners around the world are facing the same struggle. The good news is that speaking English fluently and confidently is not an impossible dream. It's not something only a lucky few are born with. It's a skill that you can learn, train, and master if you follow the right steps and stay consistent. Just like learning to play guitar, drive a car, or cook delicious food, learning to speak English fluently is a process. And in this video, I will take you step by step through everything you need to know to build your English speaking ability. By the end of this full guide, you will understand exactly what fluency means, why so many learners struggle, and most importantly, what you can do every single day to improve. We're not just going to talk about grammar rules or vocabulary lists. Instead, we'll focus on the real, practical strategies that will transform your English speaking skills. This is going to be a complete educational journey, so stay with me until the end because I promise it will give you clarity and motivation. So let's begin. First, let's talk about why English fluency feels so difficult and why so many learners get stuck. Understanding the problem is the first step to solving it. And once you see the truth, you'll realize that fluency is much closer than you think. Why fluency feels difficult? One of the biggest reasons English fluency feels so hard is because most learners are taught the wrong way. In school, you probably spent years memorizing grammar rules, writing essays, and studying vocabulary lists. But when came time to actually speak, your brain froze. This happens because grammar knowledge and speaking ability are two very different things. Speaking fluently means being able to produce sentences automatically without stopping to translate from your native language. But if your mind is busy thinking about grammar rules, you will hesitate. Hesitation breaks fluency, and when fluency breaks, confidence disappears. That's why many learners understand English perfectly when they read or listen, but they cannot express themselves when it's time to talk. Think about it this way. If you learn how to drive by only reading a book about driving, you will know the theory, but the moment you sit behind the wheel, you'll panic. The same thing happens with English. You know the rules, but you never trained your mouth and your brain to work together in real time. That is why you feel nervous, you pause too much, and you lose confidence. So, the first step to fluency is changing your mindset. Stop thinking of English as a subject you study only in books. Instead, start treating it as a skill you practice daily. Skills are built through repetition and practice, not through memorization alone. Once you understand this, your approach to learning English will change forever. Step 1. Listening is the key. The first practical step to fluency is listening. Think about how babies learn their first language. They spent months and even years just listening before they say their first word. They don't study grammar or memorize vocabulary lists. They simply absorb the language by listening to it every single day. And when the time comes, they start speaking naturally. This is the same process you need to follow with English. If you want to speak fluently, you need to listen daily. Listen to English podcasts, watch movies, follow YouTube videos, and even listen to English songs. Don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. Your brain is smarter than you think. It will start recognizing patterns, sounds, and rhythms without you even realizing it. But here's the key. Don't just listen passively. If you only let English play in the background while you scroll on your phone, you won't improve much. Instead, practice what is called active listening. Focus on the speaker. repeat what they say, and pay attention to how words are connected in real speech. The more you do this, the more natural your own speaking will become. One of the best techniques is called shadowing. Shadowing means you listen to a sentence and immediately repeat it, copying the pronunciation, rhythm, and tone exactly. This is like training your mouth and your brain at the same time. At first, it might feel strange or difficult, but if you practice shadowing even for 10 minutes a day, your fluency will improve faster than you imagine. Step 2. Learn phrases, not just words. The next big step in speaking English fluently is focusing on phrases instead of single words. Most learners make the mistake of trying to memorize hundreds of individual words, but then they can't put them together into sentences quickly when speaking. Fluency comes from using ready-made chunks of language, not from searching for words one by one in your head. For example, instead of only learning the word opportunity, learn the phrase a great opportunity or take the opportunity. When you store phrases in your brain, you don't have to build sentences from zero every time. You just pull out the right phrase and use it. This makes your speech faster, smoother, and more natural. Think about how native speakers talk. They don't build every sentence from scratch. They use combinations of words that they have repeated thousands of times in their life. If you learn those same combinations, you will sound more natural and confident immediately. So stop focusing only on vocabulary lists. Start collecting useful phrases and practice them every day. Here's how you can do it. Every time you watch a movie or listen to a podcast, write down 1 or 2 phrases that you like. Then, practice saying them out loud several times. Use them in your daily conversations. The more you use phrases, the faster your fluency will grow, and soon you'll realize you can express yourself without hesitation. Step 3. Practice speaking daily. Now that we've talked about listening and phrases, let's move to the heart of fluency, speaking practice. You cannot become fluent if you don't practice speaking every day. It doesn't matter how much grammar you study or how many words you memorize. If you don't speak, you won't improve. Speaking is a physical skill, and like all skills, it improves only through use. The biggest challenge many learners face is that they don't have someone to practice with. But let me tell you, that's not an excuse. You can practice speaking even when you are alone. You can talk to yourself, describe your surroundings, explain your daily routine, or tell a story in English. This may feel strange at first, but it is one of the most powerful ways to improve. Another great way to practice is by recording yourself. Choose a topic, speak for 1 or 2 minutes, record your voice, and then listen to it. Compare your speech to native speakers. Notice your pronunciation, your speed, and your confidence. Over time, you will hear your own progress, and that will motivate you to keep going. If you have access to conversation partners, online tutors, or English clubs, that's even better. But remember, the most important thing is consistency. 10 minutes of speaking practice every day is much more effective than 2 hours once a week. Make speaking English a daily habit, and your fluency will grow naturally. Step 4. Don't fear mistakes. One of the biggest obstacles that stops learners from speaking confidently is the fear of making mistakes. You might worry about your grammar, pronunciation, or whether people will laugh at you. But here's the truth. Mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teacher. Every time you make a mistake and continue speaking, you get closer to fluency. Think about how children learn their first language. They make mistakes all the time. They say words incorrectly, they use the wrong grammar, and they mix up sentences. But nobody tells them to stop speaking. Instead, they keep practicing, and over time, their speech becomes natural. You need to follow the same mindset when learning English. Confidence doesn't come from being perfect. Confidence comes from using the language even when you are not perfect. In fact, many native speakers make grammar mistakes too, but they don't let that stop them from expressing themselves.
Your goal is communication, not perfection. So, whenever you speak and make a mistake, remind yourself that it's a sign of progress, not failure. The more you practice without fear, the faster you will improve. If you wait until you are perfect before speaking, you'll never start. So start today. Speak with mistakes, speak with hesitation, but speak anyway. With each conversation, your fluency and confidence will grow naturally. Step 5. Think in English. Another key to fluency is learning to think in English. Most learners make the mistake of translating every sentence from their native language into English before speaking. This slows you down and creates hesitation. By the time you finish translating in your mind, the conversation has already moved on and you lose confidence.
Speak fluently, you need to reduce translation and start thinking directly in English. This might sound difficult, but it becomes easier with practice. Start small. For example, instead of thinking, I am hungry in your native language and then translating, just practice thinking, I am hungry directly in English. Do the same with simple daily sentences like, it's hot today, or I need water. As you practice, gradually increase the length of your thoughts. Describe what you are doing in English, plan your day in English, or even think about your feelings in English. The more you train your brain to use English for thinking, the less you will rely on translation. This will make your speaking faster and more natural. Remember, fluency is not just about speaking. It's about how quickly your brain processes the language. If you think in English, your speech will flow more smoothly, and you will feel more confident in every conversation. Step 6. Expand your listening and reading. Listening and speaking are connected, but reading also plays an important role in building fluency. When you read in English, you expose yourself to new vocabulary, phrases, and sentence structures. This helps you develop a deeper understanding of the language, which makes it easier to express yourself when speaking. But just like listening, you need to read actively. Don't just read silently and forget the words. Read out loud whenever you can. This gives your mouth practice with pronunciation, rhythm, and flow. It also helps you remember new words better because you are engaging both your eyes and your voice. Choose reading materials that interest you. If you like stories, read English novels or short stories. If you prefer news, read English articles online. If you enjoy self-development, read motivational books in English. The key is to read what you enjoy because that will keep you motivated to continue. Combine your reading with listening whenever possible. For example, listen to the audiobook while reading the text at the same time. This will train your brain to connect spoken and written English, making your understanding stronger and your speaking smoother. Step 7. Build daily routines. Consistency is the secret ingredient to fluency. It's not about studying for hours once in a while. It's about practicing a little every single day. Even 15 to 20 minutes of focused practice daily can transform your English over time. The problem is that most learners start with excitement, but then they lose motivation because they don't have a routine. The best way to stay consistent is to create a simple daily routine that you can follow without stress. For example, you can spend 10 minutes listening to English, 10 minutes practicing speaking or shadowing, and 10 minutes reading or reviewing phrases. That's only 30 minutes a day. But if you do it every day for a few months, your fluency will grow significantly. Make English a part of your daily life. Change your phone settings to English, think in English when you wake up, and listen to English podcasts while traveling. The more exposure you have to the language, the more natural it will feel. And the more natural it feels, the more confident you will become. Remember, fluency is not built in a day. It's built in daily actions. So focus on creating routines that fit your lifestyle. Small steps taken consistently will take you farther than big steps taken once in a while. Step 8. Improve pronunciation. Another important element of fluency is pronunciation. Many learners feel shy because they think their accent is not good enough. But the truth is, you don't need to sound like a native speaker. You only need to be clear enough for people to understand you. Clarity is more important than perfection. To improve your pronunciation, start by listening carefully to how native speakers pronounce words. Pay attention to stress, rhythm, and intonation. Then, practice copying them through shadowing. Focus on the sounds that are difficult for you and repeat them until they feel natural. Recording yourself can also help you notice mistakes that you don't realize while speaking. Another useful tip is to practice tongue twisters. They may feel funny, but they train your mouth to move more smoothly, which helps in normal conversation. You can also use online pronunciation tools to check if you are saying words correctly. The more you practice pronunciation, the more confident you will feel. And when you are confident in your pronunciation, your overall fluency will automatically improve. Step 9. Learn to pause naturally. Many learners think fluency means speaking quickly without stopping, but in reality, even native speakers pause while speaking. The difference is that their pauses sound natural, not awkward. Learning how to pause naturally will make your speech smoother and help you sound more confident. Instead of filling your pauses with or practice taking a short breath and continuing your sentence. Pausing gives you time to think, and it also makes your speech clearer for the listener. Don't be afraid of silence. It's a natural part of communication. You can practice this skill by reading out loud and intentionally adding pauses at the right places. Over time, you will develop a natural rhythm in your speech, and your confidence will grow. Remember, fluency is about flow, not speed. Speak clearly, pause naturally, and focus on delivering your message, not on rushing through it. Step 10. Surround yourself with English. If you want to speak English fluently and confidently, you need to create an environment where English is all around you. This is sometimes called immersion, and it is one of the fastest ways to improve any language. The more English you hear, read, and use daily, the more natural it becomes for your brain. Now, you may not live in an English-speaking country, but that doesn't matter. Thanks to technology, you can bring English into your life no matter where you are. Change the language of your phone and computer to English. Follow English-speaking creators on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Watch movies and shows in English, and listen to English podcasts while walking or traveling. The key is to reduce the amount of time your brain spends in your native language and increase the time it spends in English. At first, this might feel difficult, but over time, you'll notice that English starts to feel more comfortable and automatic. And when English feels natural, your fluency will rise and your confidence will grow. Think of English as more than a subject. It should become part of your daily lifestyle. Surrounding yourself with English is like giving your brain a workout every day. And the more you train, the stronger your fluency becomes. Step 11. Use technology wisely. In today's world, you have a huge advantage that learners from the past never had: technology. There are thousands of apps, websites, and tools that can help you practice English every day. But the secret is not to use them all at once. The secret is to choose a few that work best for you and use them consistently. For example, you can use language learning apps to practice vocabulary and phrases. You can use online dictionaries to check pronunciation and meaning. You can join language exchange platforms to practice with real people. You can even use AI tools like this one to practice conversations, get corrections, and build your confidence. Technology also allows you to record, review, and track your progress. You can keep a journal of your speaking practice or use apps that give you feedback on pronunciation. All of these tools make learning easier and faster. But remember, technology is only useful if you use it regularly. Don't get distracted by trying too many apps at once. Pick a few tools that you enjoy and make them part of your daily English routine. With the right tools, your fluency journey becomes smoother and more enjoyable. Step 12. Focus on communication, not perfection. One of the most important lessons you need to understand is that fluency is not about speaking perfect English. It's about communicating effectively. Many learners hold themselves back because they are too focused on avoiding mistakes.
But when you make communication your goal, everything becomes easier. Imagine you are in a conversation with a native speaker. They don't care if your grammar is 100% correct. What they care about is whether they can understand you. If you can share your ideas clearly and confidently, you have achieved fluency even if your sentences are not perfect. So stop waiting to be perfect. Perfection is not realistic, and even native speakers make small mistakes. Instead, focus on expressing yourself, sharing your ideas, and keeping the conversation flowing. The more you practice this mindset, the more relaxed you will feel. And when you're relaxed, your fluency naturally improves. Fluency is about flow, not perfection. The faster you accept this truth, the faster your confidence will grow. So every time you speak, remind yourself, my goal is communication, not perfection. Step 13. Stay motivated with goals. Learning English is a long journey, and staying motivated is one of the biggest challenges. That's why setting clear goals is so important. Without goals, you may lose focus or give up when progress feels slow. But with goals, you always know what you're working toward. Your goals don't need to be huge. Start with small, realistic goals that you can achieve within a few weeks. For example, you might set a goal to learn 10 new phrases this week, to record yourself speaking for 2 minutes every day, or to finish one English book this month. When you achieve these small goals, you feel proud and motivated to keep going. You can also set bigger goals, like being able to hold a 30-minute conversation with a native speaker or giving a short presentation in English. These goals give you direction and push you to keep improving. Write your goals down, review them often, and celebrate your progress. Remember, fluency is a marathon, not a sprint. Motivation will come and go, but if you set clear goals and stick to your routine, you will always move forward. Step by step, day by day, your fluency will grow. Step 14. Be patient and trust the process. Finally, the last and most important step is patience. Many learners get frustrated because they want to become fluent overnight, but language learning doesn't work that way. Fluency takes time, consistency, and patience. If you expect quick results, you will only feel disappointed. Think of fluency like growing a tree. You can't plant a seed today and expect a big tree tomorrow. You need to water it daily, give it sunlight, and wait for it to grow. Over time, the small efforts you make every day will add up, and suddenly you'll realize that you are speaking fluently without even thinking about it. The key is to trust the process. Every time you listen, speak, read, or practice, you are moving forward, even if you don't notice it right away. Progress is not always visible day to day, but after months of consistent practice, the difference will be huge. So don't give up. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at a different pace. Focus on your journey. Keep practicing and trust that your efforts will pay off. Patience and persistence are the real secrets to fluency. So there you have it. We've covered everything you need to know about how to speak English fluently and confidently. From listening daily, learning phrases, practicing speaking and thinking in English, to building routines, improving pronunciation, and staying motivated. Every step brings you closer to fluency. Remember, fluency is not about perfection. It's about communication, practice, and consistency. If you follow these steps and stay patient, your English will improve more than you can imagine. Speak with courage, don't fear mistakes, and make English a part of your everyday life. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more practical English learning tips. Your fluency journey is just beginning, and I'll be here to guide you every step of the way. Thank you for watching, keep practicing daily, and I'll see you in the next lesson.